ironically enough. Recording.
Yeah. It's the
recording in progress.
Recording in progress. It's the yeah, what are we actually?
Remember the promise that you made to Marino?
It's the Remember the Promise You Made to Marino podcast with Ethan.
Hey, I mean, I've actually heard of podcasts that had dumber premises than that, so I'm fine with that.
and who else is in the call?
Satan.
No, Marino. No. Okay, so I have a story to tell.
Satan.
To read actually. I'm gonna read you a story.
Maybe you should tell me a story too.
I should tell you a story?
Well, first read me a story and then tell me the story about the Greek bathhouse.
I want you to tell
because everybody's been asking me to get like an actual video of you telling that story or an audio recording of it or whatever because they really want to know.
No. Oh, Jesus. No, we can do that another time.
You should do that. Well, I know that I mentioned Dan a lot in these videos because Dan's like my best friend and we talk about, well, I mean, obviously you're my best friend too. I have lots of best friends. I don't like to pick. I don't like to be like, oh, you're the number one best friend and you're like down near number 3 or whatever. No, because I talk to you a lot
who's
too.
the best friend though?
I don't like, the honest truth is that I'm like totally fine with you having like 5 or 10 best friends because I don't think that it's easy to quantify that. I think that everybody like they have several friends that they consider really close friends, and when people get butthurt like, oh my, your best friend, I'm just like, come on, dude. I don't like picking favorites. It's like picking your favorite fucking kid. Like if you pick your favorite kid, then you're kind of a sick motherfucker, aren't you? You're like, oh, this kid, this one's stupid as fuck. This one I like though.
I've just put you in 2 cases. Like you're my American best friend, and Basti is my German best friend. And that's how it is. That's how it's always gonna be.
I think that's fair. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not going to be like, no, I should be your best friend, full stop, and Basti doesn't get to be anywhere near that list. That list is mine and mine alone. There's only one name on that list.
On the next call, I'll probably tell the Greek bathhouse story. So teaser.
That's probably one of the funniest fucking things you've ever told me. And I've tried to retell it, but I don't get it right. I feel like it really needs to come from the person that experienced. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling it. I'm imagining what happened and telling it as best as I can, but that's not really good enough.
The great thing about the story is how many different like facial expressions the people have that listen to it, because there's been people that have completely frowned throughout the whole story because they felt like I was like S8, you know, the whole thing.
For what?
Sexually assaulted. And
S8. Oh, I've never heard anybody say that before.
The whole time they were just looking like I'm like a kid that fell into the well or something, you know. And then I had people that like you that would just flat out laugh the whole time. And I don't care because I laughed at it too.
I wouldn't laugh if you were sexually assaulted. I'm not that fucking sick, but I knew you weren't because I'm like, you're an adult, and if they tried to sexually assault you, they would have needed like multiple guys, and that would have been like horrifying, and I would have been like, holy shit, that's awful. Like obviously that's not funny.
It was
but if one guy's trying to hit on you and you say no and he just leaves you the fuck alone, then like that's just kind of like goofy and funny, but it didn't take a dark turn, thankfully, and that makes me.
But it was close. That was like a grappling hook from his arm formed. So, anyways,
was it like that thing from fucking BioShock Infinite, that gun where
exactly that?
It's not really a gun. It's like it's kind of like a grappling hook. That thing what do they call it again? The thing where you like rode on the rails in Colombia.
That game didn't make like the biggest impression on me, I have to say.
I like that game. It made a big impression on me when I first played it, but I haven't played it in like, I don't know, probably almost 10 years. So I think it came out in 2012.
BioShock Intimate.
Is that a real thing? Because it should be. Is that like a real parody game?
Yeah. Don't ask me. I know because of a friend, of course.
Oh yeah, no. Just like you didn't know about rape play until, you know, a friend told you.
Rape lay? What is rape lay?
I don't know if we should. I don't know if you should post this video or not, but I guess I'll go into it. Why not? Who cares? I mean,
Let's
it's not
restart.
like we really have like a fan base yet, so you
Let's
know.
restart. Let's restart.
No, it's fine. I can tell you, it's funny. I mean,
Okay.
we might as well be candid. It's not like anything. It's not like really, really bad. It's a video game. It's a video game that came out on the PC. Like I want to say, like probably like 15 something, about 15 years ago, I think. And it's basically a game where you play as a guy who goes on a subway, and it's all in Japan, of course, because I don't know, not to say anything about the Japanese, but the Japanese have some weird sexual predilections. But I guess I'll just leave it at that.
Mhm.
But you play as some guy in a subway, and like the whole point of the game is that you tail these women and rape them,
Damn, that's a
and
game.
it's called rape play. Like it's like a portmanteau of rape and play.
Oh my god.
So Ray play, it's disgusting. I mean, I've seen like a little bit of footage of it. Like obviously they
Wow.
didn't show like the really gross stuff, but I like saw what it looked like, and
Oh,
it's
but
it,
see what society's been through, man.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense that somebody's mind would be sick enough to do that.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not surprised. I mean, it's like when some
And
like if you told like a
it used to be okay to put out stuff like that.
well in 2006 or whatever, I think it came out around 2006 or
Oh,
seven.
it's kind of
Like
late.
I feel like well, it was on PC too,
The
so
90s,
like
the 90s would be like, oh, who cares?
I've played some games that came out in the '90s that were really risque. Like there's another game that I really like called Harvester, and it's really fuck. It's like maybe like isn't the right word. It's just so ridiculous, and it's got like there's a part in it where this guy that has no legs is watching a nuclear missile silo, and if you piss him off, he shoots your character in the head, and then he like jumps. Well, I don't know. I guess he can jump without feet and legs. I don't know, but he there's this like little button he's holding where if he hits the button, the nukes go off, and then the nukes go off and the game ends. If you do that, like that's a possible ending to the game. You can do it like right at the beginning too. So
Yeah, what the hell?
it's a complete like I played it because I saw reviews of it a long time ago, and I'm like, this looks so absurd. Like, I just want to play this, and it's on like I think it's on GOG or Steam, or you can buy it. Like, it's not even hard to get
Hmm.
if you want to play it. And I played it, and it's a it's kind of like an adventure game at first, and then it turns at the end of the game, it turns into this like really janky action game that you know Dana and I actually played through the whole thing. It was completely ridiculous. It was one of those things where if you play it once, I think you kind of get your fill, and I don't really
Mm.
know if you'd want to go back because it's not really like a good game in the traditional sense. It's
You kind
almost
of want to know what it's holding.
yeah, it's basically just like the equivalent of a bad movie that's really entertaining to watch in
Yeah,
video game form.
but not bad in a bad way, like in a different way, more bad, like a bad movie could be really good and rewatchable in case of being so bad, but
Well,
in this
usually bad movies like only last an hour and a half or maybe 2 hours, and bad games generally last longer than that.
that's
So
true.
if you watch a bad movie, you sit through it once and you're like, God, that was funny as shit, or that was awful, and I never want to watch it again. Like there's a few movies that I really love that I think a lot of people would consider bad, like UHF is one of them. Like when that movie came out, a lot of people hated it, but it's really funny. It's supposed to be stupid and irreverent. Like that's the whole point of the movie. I don't think people understood that in the '80s, but it's gained a cult following over the years.
Yeah.
And Showgirls is the most ridiculous fucking movie I've ever seen, but you can't say it's not entertaining.
Do you think I should tell a story now because we kind of like prefaced it so much?
I mean, I was just talking to you. I don't know. Because a part of me thinks that just talking like we talk is entertaining to some degree. Like maybe doing a podcast wouldn't be a terrible idea,
I'm not
even though
entertained.
everybody in there, you're not.
I'm just kidding.
No, I feel like our conversations are entertaining to some. I mean, I can't say that like we'd ever get a massive audience just from talking because I know that's sort of what everyone does. But I mean, if you're being honest with your audience and you're talking about stuff that's interesting, I mean, you might get a few people interested. Who knows?
Okay, let me tell you the Greece story so you can show it to all your friends so they all know what it's really about. So,
Well, Dan's gonna be happy about this.
well, there's a timestamp here, and then just go ahead. So also we need to find a cover pic. I don't want to edit anything anymore. We're just gonna
You
put
should
a cover pic up, and that's it.
you should just put up a picture of Greece,
Greece?
even though most of this hasn't even been about that. So you can just put up a picture of Greece.
That
Just
sounds
get like
good.
a nice Greek flag up there or something, and be like, hey, the Greeks are they're great people.
Greco.
Nothing bad to say about the Greeks.
Yeah.
Never been there though.
Okay.
So I have no idea. I met a Greek guy once, and he was really nice, and
What
he was
was
from
his
Rhodes.
what was his name?
He had a really weird name. What the fuck was his name? Dude, I feel like a dick for not remembering his name.
I remember a Greek
No,
guy.
not Alessio because he was Italian. And you knew him too. But didn't his name start with an A? He,
Like Alexis.
he had a really Greek name. No, it wasn't a name I'd ever heard before, and everyone in my class had trouble pronouncing it. So I'm
Okay.
gonna find him. I think I
No,
still
that's
have him on
fine.
Facebook. Let me
So
look him up. Nope, I'm looking him up right now.
so I knew this kind of like kid with Greek descent. Uh, his name was, I'm not gonna say his name, but it was a short name, so I'm just gonna say like Sam.
Okay,
And Sam invited me to go to this place in Greece where I think his family has a house there, and they kind of wanted to invite me and have me there, and we would have like be in a house in some island in Greece, which is like it sounded like a really good plan.
sounds
Um,
fun.
and I was really down, but then down to go. But then something came but in between. I don't remember what it was. Several things. I think he started to kind of like show feelings toward me, and I was like, nope, and because I'm not interested in him, but also in men, and then even more
Gotcha.
so, I had issues. I didn't want to go there and have him like be interested in me while I'm there. Like I felt like that was wrong. And we had a continuous flight that would go over Athens and then to the place where we were supposed to go. Maybe from Athens, maybe we would take a boat or something. I don't remember. But I was like, no, I'm not coming with you. So I changed my flight dates and only went to Athens alone for 5 days on different dates, just so I wouldn't waste the money. And I also kind of wanted to see Athens a little bit. So I went to Greece, to Athens. I went there for a long time. It took me a long time to get there, I mean, which was like, I think, a couple of hours on the plane and then several more hours on a train. Um, and then I found a place to stay at the next 5 days. I found some cool things to see. But then yeah, then one day I decided to look around what is there, and I found out there was like a bathhouse close by, very close by, around the corner basically. It's like a sauna place, and I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. Like I enjoy chilling out and just going in there.
The
So
hot tub or whatever kind of thing.
yeah, I felt like that's what I want to do. I enjoy saunas, I enjoy hot tubs, all that stuff.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
I go there, I go down the stairs. There's like a counter, and there's two middle-aged guys behind the counter, and they're kind of smiling, kind of like with like leveling looks, like they kind of check me out. They want to like, they're like, who's this guy? And I felt like that's probably because I look like a tourist.
Nope.
Also because I came in shorts and I think I had a towel with me or something. I don't remember. But they
Did
handed
a what
me,
with you?
I think I had a towel.
I thought you said child for a minute. I'm like, what?
A, a child
Yeah, just
for
like
sale.
where the kid come
It's a new story, man. I spaced it up.
Yeah, this is different than the original story I remember hearing.
But they handed me a towel and it was folded up nicely. And on top of the towel, there was like there was a condom on it, unopened. And I
Good.
was confused, but I didn't think too much of it, which was naive. But who could have guessed? I thought like, oh, more of that. Like they even like I felt like maybe I'm gonna see women in there. Maybe there's people like having fun together. And I was like, let's see what happens next. I was interested. I was definitely interested. Was definitely like wondering what would be next. So I went in and I changed into my birthday suit, put on the towel, and then I walked out and I noticed that there's absolutely no bathtubs, anything. There was just showers. And I was like, okay, this is weird. This is not a bathhouse, what I expected at least. Um, Only showers. But then I found the saunas and I was like, oh, that's good. But then I also noticed that something else was missing, which was women. So I look
No
around the
women
place and
anywhere.
I'm like, okay, what is this place? Interesting. Anyways, I'm already sitting in the sauna now. I'm sitting there and there's just people coming in and it's kind of small, but there's like people looking at you and it's kind of weird when people look at you and you're like not sure why because it's like why would you stare? We're all just having a good time, just saunaing out.
Hanging out in the sauna.
Like normally when you get into a sauna, of course you're gonna look maybe sometimes so like once or something, but if people like look more or more often, it's kind of weird and awkward. Well, I was sitting in front of a really hairy big guy, kind of like it reminded me more of like a Jabba-esque physique, and but with
You would
a lot more fur on him. And I don't know, I was just not really having it. So after like I guess 10 minutes or so, I kind of exited the sauna. I went and took a long shower because I take long. I'm just kidding. I just took a shower. I felt a little better, and then I thought, okay, this is not what
I
I'm.
wouldn't want to take a long shower if I was
This
you.
this wasn't this wasn't what I bargained for. So I'm just gonna leave. This is weird. I noticed more men looking at me just around, like looking over their shoulder, just looking at me. I'm like, okay, this is weird. I'm gonna go. So I go into the locker room to get dressed, and I got all my things, and I'm ready to get dressed. And right before I get dressed, there's like a dude who who's like middle aged Greek guy, kind of like not well shaved, all that stuff. In the face. I mean, I didn't see the rest, of course. Um,
Was he
and
well
I
shaved
was
in other areas?
if I knew, I only wore a towel at the time, and the guy would just talk to me. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, don't really speak Greece, and he would just keep going. He's like, I was like, I'm sorry, I don't speak Greece. Just why am I hearing myself?
Sorry, that was my bad.
Oh, okay. Uh,
My AirPod died.
Anyways, I was like asking. I was like not asking. I was wondering why he kept talking to me, and just right as I was trying to move away from him because I was wondering why he kept talking to me, he would just reach out and grab from my dick, and I would just jump away, and it was like the weirdest thing
You kind of
I've
were
ever.
like, I guess you kind of were almost sexually assaulted. I never really thought of it that way. I guess I just,
Well, it's just if you talk to the wrong people about it, it's kind of boring. But that's what boring people think.
well, I
It's
mean,
not. No, I'm just
he
kidding.
was
It's
going
just.
for it. You know,
Yeah, he was reaching. He was reaching out.
he was reaching out because he wanted
He wanted
he
love.
wanted somebody to love him.
So
And you know what?
I just jumped into my pants, pulled them up real quick, and then I ran out as fast as possible, like a funny chicken walk. And I tried to pull up my pants while running. I was so fast, dude. I would just leave. I would just give them back the towel and then just leave. And I kept the condom. I don't know why, but definitely was kind of weird and ran away
As a
pretty quickly.
memento.
And then I was like in the hotel room. I was like, what the fuck just happened? And that's basically the story.
That's a fucking that's a trip. And then you never went back to Greece again.
It's a trippy. I haven't since then.
See, that's why
I like.
you don't want
Yeah.
to be touched by some fucking hairy Greek guy.
I was boiled. Like I
love you.
I was burned once. You know, burned child.
It's okay to laugh.
It's okay.
I can't help it. That's pretty funny. It's a good story. That's my favorite story ever.
All right.
I remember when you told it to me the first time. And at first I was concerned, and then I just laughed about it a lot. So I started from a good place. At first I was like, oh, is he okay? Like that's pretty like so that's a really uncomfortable situation. But then I'm like, but it is pretty hilarious though.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest. No offense. No offense. We love you here. It's from a position of care, you know, we care.
Care Bear. So yeah.
Care Bear.
What else? You know, I remember like a weird thing. Like I had this friend. I say I had. He's not really a friend anymore because of what happened. But I had this friend who recently, maybe half a year ago, asked me for money, and then like I think $150. That's not even that much, but
yeah, you rich motherfucker.
He lent he lent money from me. Is that the right way to say? I lent him money. Is that the right way to say?
You borrowed money from him, or he borrowed money from you.
He borrowed money from me, and now when I text him,
you lent him money.
When I text him, he's like a ghost. You know, like he's completely gone, basically, which is fine by me if he wants to do that. Because I mean, I would have given him the money if he asked for a gift. You know, I don't care. If he's like a friend in need, of course I'm going to give it to him.
A friend in need is a friend indeed.
So, but this guy and another friend of mine, we went on a bicycle trip like 11 years ago, or maybe 10 years ago. And we went down to the Mosel, which is a river down in Germany. And there's a lot of grapes there and vineyards, and they're all like making wine there, like getting it right away from the source, you know. And that's what they wanted to do. Like my friends, they were like, oh, let's go down there and get wasted and also have like a great bike tour, right? A bike trip. And I remember I was at my friend's place with my bicycle, and I had like in Germany you say you have a man bicycle when you have, or like a
That's pretty sexist if you're on a man bicycle, Felix.
Yeah.
Why can't you be on a unisex bicycle?
True. But there's like bicycle for men and for women, right?
Okay. Sorry.
But there's but there's also bicycles for like mountain bikes, stuff like that, you know, like the kind of like more stylish, more
like the one I have. I have a mountain bike.
For terrain and stuff. You don't have a bike.
Yeah, I do. I got one. After I moved here, I got one.
Oh, that's sick. That is so sick.
We should, that I should find maybe I can get you a bike too, and we can find a place.
I'll ride with you.
I'll find you a bike somewhere, I'm sure.
I'll ride with you.
I'll find you a nice little trike.
And you do use it?
Yeah.
It's great, man. I love to hear it.
I was using it the other night without a light illegally.
Awesome.
Don't tell the cops. Don't tell the police.
I already called them, man. at your house in 2 minutes.
I think I'm gonna order the BTS meal.
I ordered the FBE. So we were at the place, and my bicycle, for some reason, my bicycle was the one bicycle that had all the special like locks and addition stuff, like the little nudges and stuff for you could put bags on it, and you could put also you could put access bags on it because it was like perfectly, it had like all the like the access parts for it, you know.
So you
And
were ready to go.
it wasn't even like a great bike, but it had like everything ready for a trip basically. And my friend had a better one. He had a better bike, a newer one, a perfectly well done one, like a real mountain bike, but with not much space on it. So he would just
Okay.
put stuff on there. And another friend had like a really like a very shitty bike, kind of. There was not much to do with that. He just had some bicycle bags on the sides, and that's it basically, and a big backpack. And on the trip, right? Let's skip ahead a day or two. On the trip,
Okay, we're skipping.
I would just be on the bike, and we would like go for 40 kilometers. Took us about 2 or 3 hours, or maybe even more, and we would just. I'm not sure if I'm right now with the timing and stuff, but I know that we kind of like rode on the bikeways, on the bike paths, and I was just wondering why both of the guys were just so far away from me. Like they were like almost like 100 meters away from me, or I don't know what. How would you get it?
Okay, you have to
Like
do it for feet
300,
for
300
our
feet,
American audiences
about 300 feet away from me,
who don't understand
and I
meters
would kind of just follow
because they're all
behind. And I was wondering why would that be? I was like, this is so weird. Like, why is it so exhausting too? And I would just be like, wait a minute, they fucked with me. Like I'm the least fit guy from all of them, from all three of us.
no, you're a fit ass motherfucker.
I
Don't
used to
don't
not be though at that
you
point.
always have been.
And I had two bags. I had this gigantonomous backpack, and I also had the 40-kilogram tent on my bike.
So
And
you
then,
had all this shit on your bike and you're still
yeah,
going way faster than them.
I was just a pack mule.
You're like a Sherpa or whatever the fuck.
They wouldn't care. They would just be like in front, and I would just have like a good time, talk to each other, have fun. And I was like, are you guys fucking kidding me?
That's some rude ass behavior.
What are you guys doing? I was wondering why. I was like, wait, and then he explained to me, the friend who planned all the thing. He's like, yeah, well, on my bike you can't put the tent on it because there's no holding for it, like, you know, no place to put it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Like I
It's not
really
nice.
didn't care, man.
Put you through that.
It was hard. That was a hard time.
That sounds like a hard time.
And
Like
then
the song.
I was carrying a 40-kilogram tent that's like half a person, or yeah, pretty much half a person.
Yeah, 40 kilograms. That's a pretty big tent.
Yeah, that's 80 pounds.
Something like, yeah, it's close. 80, 85 maybe.
Yeah, and I was wondering about all that, and then I was like, why am I having this like gigantonomous tent on my back? And I was wondering, when we put the tent up, I was wondering how is this supposed to be more than two people in there? Because it's a 4 people tent, and we were three guys, and it was so fucking crowded. It's terrible. It was so
You guys are
bad.
just like holding sausages basically.
Yeah, basically. And when one guy moves, everyone knows, and it's so weird. And
That sounds kind of terrible. This trip sounds like it did not go well.
I was super tired that one time, and my one friend was like searching something in his bag and being like really loud and noisy and being like, and I was like, what? I was like, what are you doing? And instead of what I expected him to do, what would have been like turning around and saying, oh yeah, I'm getting out this product that helps my skin.
Um,
Wait a moment, how's it called? What's
I just like the way that when you did that, I made it seem like you were going to say something inappropriate. So like,
I was like,
was that on purpose or was that
uh,
just like a?
no, that was a mishap. But he, instead of turning around and just telling me that he was looking for his milk fat, which
Milk fat?
do you know what milk fat is?
No. What is it?
Is it even the real? I used Google Translator and it fucked me up, I think.
I don't know why, but that was just the way, the timing of that throat clearing just that made me laugh. I have no idea why. Probably because I thought you were gonna go into something like,
Oh, it's
you know,
so it's back bomb or milking grease.
milking grease. What do you do with it?
It's something you put on your skin, and it's like fat from the milk. It's skimmed from the milk, and you put it on your
Oh,
face when you're
so
very
it's basically
we have
just
very
like
dry
some.
skin. Yeah,
It's just like some kind of lotion.
it's like body butter. Yeah, some lotion.
Gotcha. Milk grease.
But he didn't turn around and said, "I'm using milking grease." He would just turn
He just started
around.
milking himself.
He would he would turn around and just go like, you know, he would just go like and put it all on my face. I'm like, what the fuck?
He did? For real?
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? What is that? I thought he was like mirroring something else in my face. I was very, very worried about
Maybe
that.
he was milking grease, so
Yeah, kind of greasy melter.
you could call that grease.
So
It is lubricating.
yeah. So yeah,
Well,
that
a
was
girl usually does more lubricating.
a kind of mediocre part of that trip. And then one night was kind of really it's kind of funny.
What are you talking about? That sounds really fun.
There was another night where we were at a camping place. We've already had like 160 kilometers behind us. That must have been like 100 miles. And there was this camping place we went to. We made friends with a family that was camping there as well, and was all good, you know, like not a family, like I think a couple, and it was all good. But then one day, like not one day, but kind of later that day in the afternoon, there came like an Asian family, and I'm not hating on anyone. I'm just stating the facts.
Yes.
And it was incredible. Like they had like a gigantonormous, huge tent, which was as big as, let's say, a big truck, a very big truck, and it was huge too. Like it was actually like it had a height of basically a person, so you could actually stand in it, and it was so big, and they were so loud, and they had a lot of kids with them, and they would just run around the tent and scream and be like, that was crazy, man. And then we're like, okay, fuck, man, how are we supposed to sleep here? And we did finally end up going to sleep, and it did finally work out that we did actually find some sleep. And then in the morning, I just wake up to my friend going, holy shit, they've doubled, because there was like second tent with the same size and the same amount of people right next to it. I was like, what? How did they do that? Suddenly there's a second Asian family, and they're all just screaming and laughing, and it's just like, what? We have to leave. It's crazy.
Did they multiply?
They did multiply. They did double. Wow. Yeah, that was funny.
You should go back. Find those people.
I will go back and find them, and I'll be like, "Where's your big ass tent?"
You motherfuckers.
Mofos. All right. I'm tired, boy. I want to watch some Netflix and go to sleep.
Netflix and chill, motherfucker.
I'm gonna chill hard.
Aight, son. You
Oh, and I also have to clean up because yesterday I told you I was constructing my bicycle because I ordered one, and I have all the cardboard, all the plastic stuff. I have it all laying around right in my entrance, like on in the hallway, and
you're making a bicycle mess.
you can't really pass through there. It's crazy.
It's probably good timing because Spencer's gonna want to call me in like 10 or 11 minutes. So she'll be like, "I want to talk to you, Ethan. I'm only a worker of Sam."
You Ronry.
She's Ronry.
All right. Well, then have a good Reno, and I'll talk to you a different
Okay, my
time.
friend.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.